Welcome, Rattler fans, to the Heartland Conference Tournament Day 2 between your St. Mary's Rattlers, today's visiting team, and the third-seeded Newman Jets. Chad Peters here, joined by Joseph Rodriguez in the booth, the sports editor of the Rattler, and now in summer session, I guess, as school is out.
Yes, sir. Summer's out. Congratulations to all the graduating seniors out here, and an absolutely beautiful day for baseball, as this is game 2 of our 3 games we'll play today. First game, a thriller, as St. Edward's was upset by the University of Arkansas Fort Smith Lions. 2-1 the final there, but now we have Rattler baseball, a game I'm very excited for, Chad.
Yeah, and it's a breezy Saturday afternoon here at Incarnate Word's Sullivan Field, the home away from home for not only the Heartland Conference baseball tournament, but also for the St. Mary's Rattlers. It's their 4th home field of the season. We've seen them play games, as we've talked about, over at Wolf Stadium, SAISD, UTSA, and now UIW. So the Rattlers very familiar with being guests, if you will, for all of their home games this year. First pitch is just a few minutes away. As you talked about, really shocking sequence of games for St. Edward's to enter this tournament. Many figured that they would be the primary competitor to St. Mary's for this Heartland Tournament Championship, and instead they went to and barbecue. And as they are out of this tournament, walk-off hit by Jordan May, who earlier in the game had a sensational diving grab as well, as it'll be Fort Smith potentially moving on, and they'll be playing in the 7 o'clock game tonight against the loser of this ball game. And we are ready for this game, Joe.
Yes, we are. Billy Richards steps in, looks at the first pitch, strike 1 called. Pitching today is Jacob Furr. I believe the Rattlers played him earlier this year. He's 4-4 on the year, an ERA of 3.26, and a total of 41 strikeouts versus 38 base on balls. Chad, what does he have to do in order to get off to a good start with these Rattlers?
Well, I think you've seen this season, if St. Mary's has an Achilles heel at all, it's that their bats can at times go cold. And I think part of the reason is because their pitching has just been so sensational that there's not a lot of pressure a lot of times on the bats. They know that they can rely on that pitching and win close ball games. But I think for Newman, that will be the key to keep this low scoring, because let's be honest, if St. Mary's is able to put up any good number of runs, it's probably going to be game over, because Rene Solis, he just does not give up a lot on the mound.
Full count here for Richard, and we will see Rene Solis on the Rattlers front. He is a semi-finalist along with Perez for the Tino Martinez Award. There's an article about that on rattlerathletics.com. It's a very impressive record for Solis, and right now Billy Richard at the plate, the full count here. As here's the pitch. Outside, and Richard draws the leadoff walk, something that he's done very well this year. Following Richard will be Derek Muchagimba in left field. After him, MP Kokonos at catcher. Batting fourth, Bates, he's a designated hitter. And then Esteban Regoza at short, Meagle at first. Segala, the third baseman, will bat seventh. And McElroy and Maldonado will end out this lineup here for the Rattlers. Derek Muchagimba showing bunt here. Pops it up a bit, but gets it down. Play over first in time, as Muchagimba successfully gets the sacrifice down. Classic Rattler baseball right there, huh, Chad?
Yeah, start similar to what we saw yesterday. Billy Richard getting on base, and then Mooch trying to sack bunt him over. Of course, yesterday, though, an errant throw to first base left Billy Richard at third and Mooch at first with no outs. So, not quite as good of a situation with Kokono stepping to the plate this time, but still a runner very much in scoring position here early in this ballgame.
And of course, for those of you who tuned in to the first game, is that first pitch is a popped foul. The sacrifice bunt, something that we've been seeing a lot of in this tournament so far. I think we had maybe 5 or 6 sacrifice bunts. I know the Lions themselves had a couple of bunts for base hits. Just something that we're really seeing a lot of so far in this tournament.
And St. Mary's now ranked number 2 in the country, 42-8 on the season.
1-1 the count here for Kokonos. So you hear the Rattler fans yelling for Kokonos to fire it up here. Here's the pitch. Off speed in there for a strike. Now, Chad, we only saw the Rattlers score 2 runs yesterday. As you mentioned earlier, this park more of a hitter's park. You think the bats come alive today?
I think they will. I think it's hard to keep these guys down for too many games in a row. I think that you're going to see an offensive explosion, but of course, still you have to consider the opponent, and Newman is red hot right now. So it won't be easy, but I think the Rattler bats ready to taste some success, and I think they've also, motivated after seeing St. Edward's go down. I think that they see that now this tournament really squarely is theirs, at the very least in their perception, being the top-seeded team.
2-2 the count as Coconos fouls that ball off, and we'll do 2-2 again. Nice sized crowd out here today. The center stands pretty much filled up, along with underneath the canopy on the left is almost completely filled up, and a little bit of clouds here for today, but mostly sunshine is what we're going to be expecting as Coconos chops this one to short. It's off his chest, and he will not have a throw at first. Richard advances to third. The Rattlers now with runners on the corners and one away here, and Bates coming to the plate.
Yeah, not the kind of start Newman wanted in this game. You cannot have miscues against a team as good as St. Mary's, but already the Jets with one of those, and it brings in Brandon Bates, one of the top hitters in the conference, a second-team All-Heartland Conference selection. The guy who kind of bounced around in college before finding a permanent home, and he certainly found that here at St. Mary's.
The cleanup hitter for the Rattlers, reliable all year. This first pitch is inside to Bates, ball 1. Bates on the year batting .352. Started the year in the 5 spot, but eventually moved up to that 4 place. And 37 RBIs on this team. Second on the team to only the man batting in front of him, MP Coconos, as the count is 2-0 here.
And Bates not a real home run hitter by any means, only has a couple on the season, but a guy who just always seems to be able to put bat on the ball. Has a check swing there, results in a strike 2.
Furr off to a bit of a rough start here, trying to work himself off out of the jam with ducks on the pond here. Check over to first. Richard bluffs toward home, but he'll stay put. 2-1, still the count here on Bates. Now, Chad, as a hitter, what do you think Bates is thinking right here, as that pitch is bent in there for strike 2?
I think you're wanting to put one in the hole and bring in a runner and maybe advance Coconos to third, but at the very least, a sac fly would be golden right now. Jump to a 1-0 lead like the Rattlers did yesterday.
As that ball goes off the pitcher's glove, they only have the play at first. The run will cross the bag. Rattlers score first. 1-0 the score, 2 away here. And Ragoza now coming to the plate.
Batting fifth for St. Mary's. Shortstop, number 11, Esteban Ragoza.
Always great to get that first run on the board, especially with a pitcher like Rene Solis on the mound today.
Yeah, anytime you can just kind of relieve that pressure, your pitcher comes out there on the mound for the first time and he's already staring down a lead. It's a good spot to be in. And we'll talk about Solis' greatness once he kind of takes the mound here, but part of just a ridiculous pitching staff. But also ridiculous is the season Ragosa's having. He's really turned into a prime shortstop. St. Mary's coaches will tell you there's not a better shortstop going right now than him when you combine what he does at the plate, his size, athleticism, and then also the defensive ability, as shown by the Golden Glove he got in the Heartland Conference Awards handed out the other day. A lot of people felt he got slighted a little bit there, not being the first team All-Heartland Conference shortstop in addition.
Yep. And you were talking about size. I didn't realize how big he was. We went down on the field today, and he walked by me, and I was like, oh, he's around 6'2", 6'3", but he doesn't really appear that tall on the field, but got to meet him, shook his hand, nice guy, and great Rattler ball club and all. 1-2 the count here.
Definitely a great athlete. I mean, the size and quickness. He has a lot of range there at shortstop as well. Doesn't let a lot of balls get past him. He had one game this year where he had several errors, and really outside of that has just been almost perfect all year.
As counts evened at 2-2 here with 2 away. Rattlers looking to tack on one more run. Kokonos leads from second. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss from Ragosa, and the side is retired, but not before the Rattlers are able to put a run on the board. 1-0 the score as we head toward the bottom of the first. You're watching Heartland Conference Baseball on Rattlers Live. And welcome back, fans, as we get ready to start the bottom of the first inning. Rene Solis on the mound, and he will be facing Wagner first. Following Wagner will be Brown, then Hancock, then Moreno. After them will be Cowan, Longmore, Ingroff, Olenberger, and Winson. Rene Solis on the year as a aforementioned a semifinalist for the Tino Martinez Award, as he's had a great year so far. He's 11-2 on the year with a 1.65 ERA. It's absolutely outstanding. Of those starts, he's completed 6 of those games. He's pitched the most innings for the Rattlers this year. He's pitched a total of 93 innings, and in those 93 innings, he has just as many strikeouts, also 93. As Wagner steps in, 0-2, quickly the count on him, and Solis strikes him out. 1 away here for Solis. The Rattlers throw the ball around the horn, already ahead 1-0 in this ball game.
Batting second for the Jets, second base, number 5, Terrell Brown.
Now it'll be Terrell Brown for the Newman Jets. The Jets the 3 seed, the Rattlers the 1 seed, but the Jets are the home team for this game because they were the away team for the last game. The rule for that is the teams have to alternate between being home and away. So the Jets with the opportunity today to be the home team while St. Mary's is the away. Here's the pitch from Solis. It's fouled off into foul territory. And a great catch by McElroy out in right field. A lot of foul ground to work with. He somehow manages to motor over and make that catch. And Brown is retired.
That's how you catch an outfield foul.
And now Tyler Hancock steps to the plate.
Batting third for the Jets, third base, number 15, Tyler Hancock.
Hancock on the year hit .314, Total of 37 RBIs and 6 home runs, which tied him for the team lead. That pitch paints the outside corner, strike one.
And going back to Solis, talk about him being a semifinalist for the Tino Martinez Award. Might give up a hit there, he does. First hit of the ball game for Newman. But still, a guy who just has had a sensational season, but maybe a little overlooked because the guy in front of him, Carl O'Neill, is 12-0 this year. But that does not diminish what he's done. You know, Solis, an ace in every bit in the sense of the word, and that 11-2 record, really heating up at the right time, pitching his best baseball. And Coach Ermis had talked to us a little while ago and talked about how he's a video game pitcher. This is something we mentioned in previous broadcasts, but you know, his pitching style is such that as a coach or a catcher, you can just tell him where to put the ball. You know, like you would on a video game, you put your cursor there, and it goes right where you want it, each and every time.
That foul ball plunks down right in front of us.
Yeah, it almost came right into your living rooms there.
Good laugh for some fans in front of us, and strike one for Solis. As you see, Moreo standing way back in the batter's box, actually a bit of a weird position. He puts his back foot in the far back left corner of the batter's box, but big strong guy like Moreo, with long arms he appears to have, can get that full extension as he puts a hit into left field. And 2 men have reached now at a little 2-out rally going here for the Jets as they try to get going.
Batting 10th, first base, number 14, Corey Cowan.
Corey Cowan now steps to the plate. Cowan batting .296 on the year. 11 doubles on the year, along with 31 RBIs. The number 5 hitter for these Newman Jets. Here's the pitch. A little bit low, ball one.
Wherever the coach puts them.
You can hear the wind coming into the microphones. We have a strong breeze blowing as Solis gets Cowan to chase that off-speed pitch, and the count is even at 1 apiece.
Yeah, cool breeze for sure today. Nice contrast from yesterday. Also nice contrast is the pretty blue skies. Yesterday some ominous clouds were hanging up above. And our trainer, toward the end of that game, you know, of course he has the lightning meter on him, and he was saying this thing better finish up soon because there's lightning right over there behind left field. But we got that game in just before that started to kind of creep into this area.
1-2 the count here, and Solis again paints the corner. Strike 3 called. The Rattlers get out of that 2-out jam. 1-0 here. Rattlers coming to bat at the top of the second as you're watching Heartland Conference Baseball on Rattlers Live.
This is Billy Richard. You're watching Rattlers Live.
And welcome back, fans, as we get ready to start the top of the second inning. Rattlers already leading by a score of 1-0, and leading off for the Rattlers, Tyler Meagle, the first baseman. After him, we'll have Segala and McElroy. If anyone should reach, then we'll have the freshman Mario Maldonado.
It'd be a good time for Tyler to get hot. He had the big hit yesterday, batting .213 on the season. He's tried a lot of different things to kind of get his swing going. Coaches told him, hey, stop looking at the stats at this point. Don't even worry about that. Just work on getting better. And he's certainly put in the work, in a little bit of a slump this season compared to what he did last year. But as we've always talked about, still finding ways to contribute. A good number of doubles this year. Leads the conference in walks. Tons of runs scored. And of course a Golden Glove there at first base as well.
1-1 the count here as that pitch outside, 2-1 now. And that's the thing about a player like Tyler Meagle. He may have been in a slump this year, but still steady and able to get on base, make things happen by all those walks. 3-1 the count here, a hitter's count now, and Meagle likely looking for his pitch here. As he drills one to short. Throw over in time, and Meagle is retired. One away here, and now Yvonne Segala comes to the plate.
7 for the Rattlers. Third base.
Segala was doing cartwheels out there during pregame warm-ups.
Saw a little bit of the pregame antics. I believe it was Payne did a flip over someone while they were stretching, cartwheeled over him.
And Segala's another one that the Rattlers believe has as big of a beef as anyone for having been slighted in those all-conference nominations. Really, they believe you won't find a better third baseman in the conference when you consider what he does at the plate, but also that defensive prowess of his. But left off the ballots entirely.
Held up there, and 2-1 the count here. I believe it was Segala who just made an absolutely ridiculous play yesterday. Barehanded a slow grounder, and then managed to throw over to Meagle, who had to pretty much go down to the splits to make the grab, but the out was recorded into the inning. 2-2 the count, and Segala chases a pitch there and strikes out. It's now Josh McElroy will come to the plate.
Batting eighth, right field, number 3, Josh McElroy.
McElroy spent most of the year in the number 2 spot, but him and Muchigimba recently flipped their spots in the batting order as he looks at strike one. A decision that seemed to have worked pretty well for manager Charlie Meagle yesterday when Muchigimba blasted that home run. So that pitch is high, 1-1.
It was good to see Mooch get his groove back on because early in the season he was in a slump. He was hitting around 167, it seemed, for a good month and a half, and that was after he had such a great season a year ago. The interesting part, though, I think we all kind of came to the conclusion that he wasn't pitching a year ago, and this year he was doing a great job at it too. Probably not in as much of a rhythm at the plate, and understandably, but really has regained that form and is just a top-notch utility type player that can really go just about anywhere out there on the field.
3-1 the count here for McElroy as he lifts this one high and out of play. The count runs full. A lot of these players for the Rattlers, they have that versatility. When we see Muchigimba, the 4th pitcher in the rotation, come in and pitch, Tyler Meagle is sent out. He plays left field. Bates goes and plays first. As McElroy strikes out swinging there. Inning is over. We will head to the bottom of the second. 1-0, the lead for the Rattlers, as you're watching Heartland Conference Baseball on Rattlers Live.
And in between innings here, we'll kind of give you a little bit of a video recap of what happened yesterday. Of course, the Rattlers advancing to this game with that Muchigimba home run in the 3rd inning, a 2-1 victory over UAFS. Let's relive the moments here. Some highlights from yesterday.
Let's go, baby!
It's huge.
huge. I mean, I guess that's 2 less games we have to play if we win out. If we lose a game, we'll have to play 5 games instead of 3 to win the whole thing. So I mean, it's huge.
Designated hitter, Brandon.
Well, I mean, just trying to do something for my team. I mean, wasn't trying to do too much. I threw a couple fastballs in, and I was just lucky enough to put a good barrel on it.
Did you know it was gone when you hit it?
Kind of, but I know the one time that I tried to not run it out, that it'll hit off the wall or something like that second. But no, I mean, I knew I hit it well, but I just didn't know if it was going to get out or not. 12-0, can't really do much better than that, but I mean, he's been solid for us all year. He goes there, he battles no matter what. I mean, he'll go out there and throw 150 pitches if he has to. I mean,
There it is. Ivan! Yeah! Good job, okay, 1, 2, 3. 6!
David Longmore leading off here to start the bottom of the second. As the Rattlers lead 1-0, Solis starts him off speed. Maldonado with the great range over at second makes the play. 1 away here, 1 pitch. The Rattlers looking sharp in the field. After Longmore, we'll have Ingroff and Olenberger.
Batting 7 for the Jets. Third base, number 25, Shannon Ingroff.
Shannon Ingroff steps to the plate, as I am now at this time joined by Robin Johnson. Robin, how are you doing?
Pretty good, Joe. How about you?
Doing well, thank you. Ingroff yesterday went 1 for 4 as his Newman Jets were able to upset St. Edwards by a score of 8-4. First pitch here, ball 1. And then the next game for St. Edwards here today, they are again upset by the number 4 Lions and eliminated from the tournament. Robin, just a strange situation with the number 2 seed going out so quickly.
Yeah, definitely wasn't expecting that at all. Thought for sure that one has popped up high for Josh McElroy. He does get that one. Definitely wasn't expecting that. I was definitely expecting a championship game between St. Edwards and St. Mary's, if not at least in the semifinals. So to have them eliminated works in St. Mary's favor, but definitely not expecting that. Very surprising. And it really just came down to a few plays for St. Edwards that caused them to be eliminated.
As the first pitch is high here, 1-0 the count. And the biggest surprise for me, Johnson, the closer for St. Edwards, tacked with both losses in this tournament. Steven Johnson hit up to 96 on the gun today, but still with the loss here today and the loss yesterday. As that pitch is fired in there, 2-1 now the count for Solis.
Yeah, and talking to Carl before the game, he said, you know, that it's not so good for him. He got 2 losses in 2 days, but it doesn't take away from the type of pitcher he is. Just couldn't quite capitalize today. The count now 2-2 with 2 outs.
Solis looks to make quick works of the Jets here. That pitch spoiled, and count will remain at 2-2 here. But the Lions, with the exciting walk-off victory, surely some momentum in their corner. Again, another pitch spoiled, and that one actually hits off the Jets' dugout and rolls back onto the field. No one hurt there.
St. Mary's they pull out a victory today, we'll either see this Newman team again or the Lions in the semifinals.
And loser of this game will play again at 7 against the before-mentioned Jets. Easy play for Ragosa. He double pumps. 1-2-3 inning here for the Rattlers as they lead by a score 1-0. You're watching Heartland Conference Baseball on Rattlers Live.
Second base, number 21.
We're back for the top of the third inning here. The freshman Mario Maldonado will lead off here against Furr, trying to get something going for the Rattlers. Following Maldonado will be Billy Richard and Derek Muchigimba. First pitch to Maldonado, outside, ball one. And Robin, we were down on the field earlier today, and the Rattlers, they seemed pretty loose, pretty relaxed actually. It's this second pitch a little bit high. I believe we mentioned earlier the flips that were going on, some of the some of the singing. What is your overall impression about this Rattlers team? Is there any real pressure on this team as Maldonado lifts this ball into right field and is caught for the first out of the inning?
Yeah, I think that, Charlie Meagle, the head coach, tried his best to put a lot of pressure on this team, and I think they do feel it, but they need to play this tournament like it is not a given, and I think that they have, and that they're just playing their regular intense game and not taking this tournament lightly at all.
As now Billy Richard comes to the plate, looks at the first pitch, strike. Second pitch, outside, 1-1 the count here. Richard, the, I guess you could say outline of a leadoff pitcher, as he did not go around there. Managed to work the leadoff walk, advanced to second on the sacrifice bunt, and eventually came around to score the first run of this ball game. As that pitch is fouled off, the count is now 2-2. Our umpiring crew, which was 4 as in the first game, has now swelled to 6. As Richard strikes out here and is the second out of the inning. Now Derek Muchigimba will come to the plate.
Derek Muchigimba.
His last time up, he laid down the sacrifice bunt that allowed Richard to advance.
Well, how many straight goals you got left with Chesney? None.
Inside here, ball one. Muchigimba's home run, the difference yesterday as he fouls this one off. We saw in that quick highlight video, put together by our own Chad Peters. So that pitch inside, 2-1 now.
He didn't need much.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss by Muchigimba as he tried to pull that one. And 2-2 the count here with 2 away. That pitch taken the other way, but way foul. So the count will remain 2-2 here.
I'm sure on Muchikemba's mind is that homer from yesterday. I'm sure he would like to do the same thing again.
He should.
The count now a full 3-2 with 2 outs. I believe he did. He hit that homer yesterday with 2 outs. That one is fouled high and away.
A team fraternization policy.
Should Muchikemba reach, Kokonos would follow. As that ball is grounded to second base. Throw is made, the side retired. Rattlers go 1-2-3. 1-0 still a score here for the Rattlers. As we are heading to the bottom of the third, you're watching Heartland Conference Baseball on Rattlers Live.
Number 18, Kenner Vincent.
Welcome back, fans, as we get ready to start the bottom of the third inning. It'll be 9-1-2 here. It'll be Vincent, Ben Wagner, and Terrell Brown as the Rattlers look to maintain their 1-0 lead. Renee Solis, so far impressive, and throws in their first pitch strike.
She would be beast. It'd help her coordination, help her stamina, it would help everything.
Solis again to the plate and again paints that corner 0-2. Robin, you've been watching Renee Solis as much as anyone this year. What are your impressions about him?
You know, I think he definitely has the capability to be a #1 pitcher. He's really skilled, and oftentimes we've seen that. I mean, just his main strikeout count, that he's really a strikeout pitcher. And he throws hard and he throws accurate, and I think that he's gotten, or is one of the many reasons why St. Mary's has been so successful, and it's very exciting that he still has 2 full more seasons left.
Her little sweet spot, you know, the 15,
As
17
that off-speed pitch is spoiled, and count will remain at 2-2 now.
Just get a little bit more consistent when she draws. I don't know how many, all your girls missed so many damn layups this year.
Solis to the plate. That pitch fouled off. McElroy giving chase, but won't get there, and we'll do 2-2 again. Again, we are broadcasting from Sullivan Field here from the University of the Incarnate Word. Beautiful field here in San Antonio. A lot of foul territory to work with as this pitch is lifted toward right field. McElroy is tracking it and makes the catch as the first out of the inning is made.